paid my dues.
Jenson, hello, thanks for your time. Welcome back. Apart from being a few degrees cooler, how does it feel to be back in the UK as world champion?
Well, it's quite surreal actually, because I got off the plane and came straight here. So it's quite unique. But this weekend's been pretty special for myself and for everyone that's been involved in my career since the beginning, I suppose, because this is what everyone wants to achieve in their career as a racing driver. I want to become a world champion in Formula One, and 21 years I've spent racing with this goal in mind, and I've been able to achieve that this weekend in Brazil. And as you might have heard after the race, the team had a fantastic get-together, which I took part in for about 30 minutes, and then decided that was enough for me, and I headed back to the hotel and just sat in my bed, really, just thinking about what I'd achieved over the weekend. And, yeah, a bit of me time. It was nice. And then yesterday, had a few drinks with the big bear, Ross Brawn, and a few of the members that were still around of the team. Got on a plane and headed back to the UK. So it's quite surreal to be back here. And it's cold as well. Forgotten how cold England was, but yeah, it's great to be back. It really is. And I did actually say I was going to try and bring it home for the UK, and I'm sure every British person does, and that's exactly what I've been able to do. So I'm very happy.
Well, you're going to meet some members of the British public soon. I'm sure one question I'd love to ask you, who they are you going to be a Brawn driver next season? Can they afford you now, Jenson?
I'm not that expensive, not compared to some drivers. No, for me, the most important thing in my career has always been to be in a great car, in a competitive car. And this year was the first year I've really been in that position. And I want to continue achieving in the sport. And I'm not one of these drivers that's going to be looking for a new team that can pay me a big amount of money. That's not what I'm about. I want to go and win races again. So I want to be with Brawn. That's just, we just haven't discussed it during the season, which was the right thing to do, so we could just concentrate on getting the titles wrapped up, constructors and the drivers. But now we can sit down and discuss it a bit more. I am going to put a bit of pressure on them for sure, but no, it's I've experienced so much with this team before. Before it was Brawn, it was obviously another manufacturer. And, I joined this team in 2003, and a lot has changed since then. We've been through some fantastic times, a lot of very difficult times, and obviously we've just achieved our first goal, which was to be world champions. And we're going to enjoy this moment very, very much. I'm not going to think about yet the next year for a few days, but then we'll start talks about next season. You always want more, and achieving the world championships it's a great feeling. And as I said, I will enjoy that for many more days. But after that, life goes on, and you want to achieve greater things, and that will be the aim. And that's why I would like to be with Brawn next year. But as I said, we just haven't discussed a contract for next year yet, and that's something we'll do as soon as possible.
Let me just ask you this very quickly about next season. You're in a fast car, a Brawn car today. Lewis Hamilton's in a very fast McLaren. Who wins the world title?
I mean, there's a lot of variables really, and that's the way Formula One is. I mean, who would have thought it would have been so difficult for us to win after the first 7 races? But it's the way Formula One is. It's such a competitive sport, and now you have 10 teams that they are fighting for wins, and it's the first time we've seen that in Formula One. If I'm in a competitive car and Lewis is in a competitive car next year, I think it'll be a very exciting season for Formula One, and especially the British public. Having 2 world champions back to back, it hasn't happened in 40 years, and I don't know how many other countries have been able to achieve that. So we should be very proud of all the work that has been put into the sport from people all around the country, being the drivers, the mechanics, the engineers, and we've produced some fantastic talent in all those different areas. We should be very happy with ourselves.
Okay, thank you. Channel 5.
Jenson, many congratulations. Just put it into context how difficult it is. No British champion has been able to do it back to back. How difficult will it be to achieve that?
It's getting more and more difficult for sure. It's a very, very competitive sport. I'm sure it was in the 70s and the 80s, but now you have for me, every single driver on the grid deserves to be there. They are very talented. They're not paying their way into the sport. So you have the competitiveness between the drivers, but also the teams. You know, it's amazing how close it's been this season. 1 second has covered the front to the back of the grid, whereas sort of 10-15 years ago that was first to third on the grid. So it's a lot closer, and it's made it a lot more difficult for everyone. As most sports have become so much closer and more competitive, I think, in recent years. So it's going to be difficult, but that's obviously every driver's aim, and that will be my aim next season.
And you've only had 30 minutes to party with the team, is that right?
Yeah, but you know, it's not about partying; it's about spending time with the team. And I spent some time with a lot of the team members yesterday. It was just so nice to relax and just talk about the weekend. I mean, we're not going to forget about this for a very, very long time, if ever. And every morning I wake up until the first race next year, I'll have a smile on my face, and that's something that we've worked very hard for.
That being said, can I buy you a pint?
You can buy me some Monster. Yes. Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm going to go and see some friends this evening and spend a bit of time with them. And tomorrow I'm up at the factory. I'm driving the simulator so that I'm ready for Abu Dhabi. Hopefully I'll be able to drive it around the circuit. And then I'm going to spend some time with all the guys that made this happen. You know, we've got 42, 45 people at the circuit, and they've done a fantastic job all season, but it's not just those guys, it's the 400 back at base that have made this happen, and I'm going to go and spend quite a bit of time with them tomorrow and chew the fat and see how they're feeling after a great achievement.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a question from Mike down here.
Jenson, Mike Walton, Stadium Era, congratulations. You flew home last night on the Rubens Barrichello's private jet, I believe. Start of this year you were flying rather more austere airlines, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. You know, I pay for pretty much all my travel this season, which wasn't the same in the past. But you know, we all give up certain things when times get tough. And to be fair, you know, when you get the chance to drive a car that I'm driving, you would give up pretty much everything that's materialistic. So yeah, you know, it's worth it. But no, it was very nice of Rubens and the team to put on a plane to fly us back here. It was really so that I could spend some time on Sunday night with the team, all of 30 minutes. But it was very nice of them to let us use the plane.
Is it right you flew EasyJet once or twice earlier on this year?
More than once or twice, quite a lot. But I don't really want to name airlines.
Congratulations, Jenson. David Smith from the London Evening Standard. And being world champion carries certain responsibilities. What sort of role model do you want to be?
Wow. For me, my main aim this year was obviously to fight for the World Championship and to do it fairly. And I think that is so important in this sport. And I think people realise that I've had a difficult time of it in the past, you know, as many drivers have. You know, it's not just me. But it's about staying strong in the difficult times. And you know, you need good people around you to keep you positive, because obviously I personally think I'm quite a strong personality, but when things get very tough it is difficult, and you need strong people around you to keep you going, keep you positive. And I don't mean talking you up, saying you're the best in the world and all of this, but you know, keeping your feet on the ground. And for me, it's been a lot of hard work to get to this point in my career. It's taken me 10 years to get a car that I can win races with. So I have had to work so hard over the years, and Formula One has become my life. When I arrived in Formula One, I was a very inexperienced driver, and I thought that, you know, it's a weekend job. We go out there on the weekend, we'll do a good job, and that's all we need to do. But it's not the case.